Welcome to Journey to Wholeness, hosted by author and life coach Indiana Tuggle, where we help Christian women heal, achieve mental wellness, and spiritual growth so you can accomplish your goals and purpose.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, or whatever day that you are tuning into this podcast. I hope that all is well, or all is going well in your life. I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting on my healing journey. And what I've learned, or what I've seen, is that healing is such a beautiful journey, a beautiful process. However, you won't be able to see that beauty until you learn that it is something that is necessary for you and not something that you just do or go through to get to something else. Because on my journey, I've seen that as long as I was trying to get through healing, to get to something that I thought or I decided would bring me joy, would bring me happiness, then I became weary in well-doing. I became disappointed on the journey. I became frustrated in waiting, right? So as I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting upon the keys, or the top 3 things that have been instrumental to my healing process. And before I get into it, I'm going to let you know that I didn't discover these 3 things all at once, all in the beginning. I've learned them as I went, as I learned to trust God, as I saw the benefit of the healing on my thought processes, my mental well-being, my peace, or understanding the peace of God, right? Because let's be honest, it don't feel good in the beginning, right? It don't feel good sometimes as you're going through it. There are a lot of tears. And as much as I hate to hear people talk about the pain of the healing process, that's absolutely real, because you don't understand everything you're going through. You don't understand why you have to heal to get the love you want, the career you want, etc. When you see other people around you who seem to have what you desire, yet you have to take time to heal before you get it. So healing can sometimes be viewed as punishment from the very God who is supposed to love you unconditionally, right? You feel like it's punishment. You feel like you're unusable. You feel like you're unlovable. You feel like you're in this holding pattern, right? So you don't see the beauty of it right off, right? But as you go, as God begins to uncover some things in you, you begin to see that it was necessary, right? And it's not that you can't have those things that you want. It's that if you got it in the manner in which God intended for you, then you would sabotage it. You would mishandle it, and so I wanted to get into that today. And these keys are not necessarily in any particular order, right? But I want to start with number 1, which is remaining teachable. My number 1 mantra that I quote often has always been, always be learning. And that is because as much as I am a proponent for healing and healing alone in the presence of God, and that is a requirement. There will be times on your healing journey where God will bring you into himself. He will draw you closer to him, and it will be just you and God, right? However, when it comes time to take you to that next level, God needs to do that through people. So you have to learn to embrace people. You have to learn to discern the right people that are for you or against you. And however, if you're always cutting people off, if you're always isolating yourself from people, if you're always avoiding tough conversations, then you will end up rejecting the wisdom that is required for you to go to the next level. And when I say next level doesn't necessarily mean a specific thing to obtain something. Next level could be just the next level of your growth, the next level of your healing process, right? God uses people, right? And he's going to use someone to come and show you what's necessary for you to grow, or to show you what you need to grow, right? I've had people to tell me some hard truths about myself that I had to take to God and say, okay, God, what is this? And how can I fix it? Right? I've always told that the healing process is about learning and unlearning. You learn who you are. You learn who God created you to be. And honestly, we love to say that I know myself, to thine own self be true. But to be honest, who you know yourself to be is tainted. It's tainted by hurt. It's tainted by pain. It's tainted by abuse. It's tainted by neglect. So the real you that you're claiming to know, that you're claiming is the end all be all, that's not even you. Right? I'm in a season where I'm discovering, how to love my flaws, or, love who God created me to be, and also love who I'm becoming, right? Love where I am now, and then love where God is taking me to, because I know that I'm safe in his hands, right? And whatever he brings me to, he's going to bring me through. And learning that the grace of God will never, or shall I say, the word of God will never lead you to where the grace of God can't protect you. So I don't have to fear people anymore. So I can accept what comes my way. I can discern whether it's for me, whether it's God, right, or whether it's correct. I can discern that. And then number one, I can go to God with it and say, God, if this is an area where you need me to grow and to learn, show me the next step. Show me how to make those changes to start to improve in this area, right? But if I don't remain teachable, then I will consistently reject that wisdom. I will consistently reject those people that come to me under the disguise of they don't know me. They're not trying to know me. They don't understand me. That's not God. That's not me. When in reality, yeah, that is you. My grandmama used to tell me, baby, everybody not lying. There's always some truth in it. And sometimes you have to realize that you're the common denominator in your relationships, right? If multiple people are coming to you, experiencing different versions of you, then you have to make some changes, because you shouldn't be showing up differently in the lives of everybody. There should be some consistency in your behavior towards others, right? So you have to remain teachable so that God can send people your way to help you grow, and you won't reject them, and you won't abuse the help. Because sometimes we push the very people away that God meant to help us, right? And the second thing, or the second key to my healing journey, has been learning to be present with God and living in the moment is absolutely essential, right? Because I've learned that if we're always looking for, expecting, or focusing on what's next, then we will never see what God is doing in us and through us, right? And when this really hit me hard is when I believe it was a few years ago, and I was invited to a speaking event. Or, well, no, it wasn't a speaking event. It was a television interview that I was invited to. And it was an hour away from where I live in Memphis, Tennessee. So all while I was preparing for the interview in the weeks to come, I was praying, asking God what to say, what to talk about, because the host of the radio station or the television show, she just said, "Oh, we're going to let God flow, and you can talk about whichever book you want to talk about." And so in my prayer, I was asking God what book to talk about, this, that, and the other, and he hadn't spoke. And so it came to almost the day before the event, and I still hadn't heard from God. And it was to the point to where I was about to cancel. I was like, "God, you hadn't said anything. I don't know what to say. I don't know this and the other." And finally God would say, "Just go." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go. I know I heard you say that. I know your voice. So I'm going to go." And all the way there, I was, listening to my worship music and praising and still asking God, "Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Which book are we going to talk about?" And he was just saying, "Just trust me, just, and go." And so I kept going. I got there and I arrived at the, station about 30 to 45 minutes before my interview time. And she had several interviews scheduled for that day. So when I arrived on the parking lot, I texted her and I said, "I'm here." And she said, you can come in when you're ready or as the Lord leads. And I was like, okay. So I was prepared to sit in the car. I was going to sit in the car, had got my phone out ready to scroll on social media, to buy my time or whatnot. And the Holy Spirit said, "Go in." And so I got out the car, put my jacket on that I took off because I didn't want it to get wrinkled, put my jacket on and grabbed a few books that I had in the car. Actually, I brought all of them because I didn't know which one I was going to talk about. So I got my books out the car and I walked in. And she was there. She was interviewing someone else, or she was about to interview someone else. And she said, "I'm decided that I'm going to interview you last, so you can go ahead and make you some coffee or whatnot and just sit and enjoy the show." So I was like, okay, cool. So I made me some coffee and I sat down, and she started her interview with another young lady. And I was sitting there And I was listening to the interview, and I was hearing everything the young lady was saying, and she was sharing her testimony, and she had written her first book, and she had been through so much in her life, in her young life, and she was about 10 years younger than me. So as she was talking, and when she finished, I heard God say, I sent you for her. And when she got off the stage and she came and was sitting and she was talking, and it was another young lady waiting for her interview as well. And that young lady approached her first and was telling her how her testimony was very moving and she was proud of her for sharing and this, that, and the other. And when I sat and I waited, and when she finished and she walked toward me, I stopped her and I just started to pour into her and to encourage her and to tell her that this was just the beginning. And I was showing her my books, and I was telling her what is to come and how my testimony grew, and how God began to use me in my writing and to reach other people. And she was just in tears. And she was like, I never knew any of that was possible. And so we finished talking, we exchanged numbers, and I said she could call me if she ever wanted to talk about, some of the things she was experiencing in her writing process or even in life in general. And that was that. And afterwards, we looked each other up on social media, exchanged numbers, and we're able to inbox each other on occasion even now today. And so after that, she interviewed someone else, and then she finally got to me, and the host, we had a wonderful interview, and I just free flowed and talked about kind of a plethora of just being single. And on the way home, and God spoke, and he said, Indiana, you're going to have to learn to be present with me, because what you've gone through over the years in your healing process is still valuable now. You don't have to wait until you get married, until you become a bestseller, until your business grow to impact others. You are my mouthpiece. You can impact people now. What you think is unimportant, it's valuable and important to me. But you have to be present with me in order to see that, because you're still waiting on something else to come for you to say that you've arrived. You've arrived now. You are usable now. So if we don't learn to be present with God, then we're telling him that he can't use us right now. We're telling him that we're not available until we get to a certain level. So in essence, you're halting the hand of God in your life when you don't learn to be present with him. Because God is not behind you, pushing you. He's not in front of you, pulling you. He's walking in you and with you. Right? And then the third element, or the third key that I learned, is that God's timing is perfect. And I know we say that, but when it comes to our healing process, we want to rush God, because like I said before, we think we are going through healing to get to something else. But it's for you right now. God is perfecting a work in you now, right? And a lot of things, the weight that's required for some things, we don't generally understand it until later. In time, you will understand. You don't understand now because you're in it, right? A lot of times you you don't see that you're resting in the storm because you're in it. You don't see that you're weathering the storm because you're in the storm. And a lot of times when you come out of it, that's when you see. And then another thing is there are some things that God is doing in you that you don't even have the wisdom to understand now, because your vision is tainted by what you've been through. You're still not seeing him clearly. You're still not seeing him through healed eyes. And as the veil is uncovered over your eyes, which the healing process does, as the scales are falling from your eyes, you will begin to see God clearly, and you will begin to understand why he's doing what he's doing in you, right? For example, I never understood why my journey was so freaking long. Right? I've been on the healing journey for 10 years. And now I'm learning to understand that it's just a process of walking in wholeness. It's continuous. There is no end, right? As long as you are on this earth, as long as you deal with people, as long as you're interacting with people, you will always need strategies to overcome that hurt, because people are imperfect. And sometimes they hurt you intentionally and unintentionally, right? But what I had to learn was that the lesson will become clear in time. The things that are necessary for you will become clear in time. For example, I'm learning that God has to take me the slow route, because what I've been through, the hurt that I've experienced, won't allow me to go through fast, right? As much as I would love for God to give me the vision all at once, to tell me every step that he requires of me to do it, I can't handle it. Nene, who is my childhood nickname, she can't handle it, right? I would get overwhelmed too easily. I would get frustrated. I would get anxiety if God would move me too fast. Right? So because he loves me and he's patient with me, he gives me things one step at a time. Now, sometimes that one step is loaded. In the beginning, my first step was get along with me, right? It was sup with me. It was read my word, indulge yourself in my word. And then it was write the book, right? Now my one step comes with a year strategy, right? When it comes to my business and things like that. But I learned that the wait was for me, because I grew up in a time where every adult that I loved and trusted failed me. That the love that I thought, or what I thought was loved, abused me, neglected me, molested me, beat my mother, incarcerated my brother, took away the very safety net that I thought I had in people who loved me. I don't trust easily, right? So in order for me to continue to move forward, God had to teach me to trust him step by step. I had to be secure. The little girl in me had to be secure in her safety before she would even allow me to move forward. And the reason that I talk about her in that manner is because the little girl in me is still alive. She don't die until I die, right? And she's still inside of me, trying to protect me, trying to protect herself from being hurt, right? And as I learn that I am no longer responsible for protecting myself, that's God's job, we both still have to assure little Nene that she's okay. So I have to have pep talks with her and say, hey, you're okay. God has you. We're going to do this, one step at a time. And that one step at a time is to keep her calm. Because if she has a tantrum, an 8-year-old, 13-year-old tantrum, guess what? She's going to stop Indiana in her tracks. So Indiana won't be able to move. Right? So the scenic route that God is taking me on is not so that he can dangle blessings in my face. Right? It's not so that he can punish me. It's not so because I've been a bad girl. No, the wait is so that he can prove himself to me. So that he can show himself strong to me. So that he can show me the love and the support that I need. Right? There are times when, yes, the Holy Spirit would be like, yeah, hey, I'm going to need you to put some fire under your feet. But for the most part, God has always been ever so patient and ever so gentle with me. And I'm just now learning 10 years later that the wait is for me and that God's timing is perfect. In time, you will understand. Today, I understand. 5 years ago, I didn't. 8 years ago, I didn't. Right? So I said that to say that your healing journey is cultivated just for you. It's designed just for you. And you will have to learn to trust the process. The process is more important than whatever final destination you have decided is that you're going to get. Right? It's much more deeper than that. And you don't even understand its depth right now. But I promise you, in time, you will understand. Well, that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope you have enjoyed this review, this walk down memory lane with me, or some of it is present. I hope you have enjoyed that, and I hope that I have said something that sparks something within you. Remember that you can always reach out to me via email or via social media if you have any questions regarding anything I've spoken on today. And as I leave you, I would say God bless, and I hope that you continue to walk in victory.
You have been listening to Journey to Wholeness, brought to you by Indie Writes, a spiritual growth and development company that helps you write your way to success and wholeness in every area of your life. We specialize in books and journals that promote mental wellness and Christian growth. Our journals provide inspirational articles, motivational quotes, biblical guidance, writing prompts to release your feelings, fears, and thoughts, as well as strategies for success to tackle your goals and pursue your purpose. Visit our website and join our mailing list at www.indiewrites.com to learn more.